Live with CDP Sports Talk, a weekly sports and entertainment podcast sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet. Live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn. And on audio via Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, Anchor FM, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Radio Public, and TuneIn. Now, here's your host, Chris Palme.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to season 14, episode 20, overall 735 of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, brought to you by our friends at Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership, located at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Auto Mall. Check out their website, barrycullen.com, for the newest selection of new and pre-owned GM vehicles, along with their great selection of all-electric vehicles, EVs, and Cadillac vehicles as well. You can call the dealership at 519-824-0210, 519-824-0210, and tell them Chris Palme sent you, or you can email them at info@barrycullen.com. Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership has been family run and operated here in the city of Guelph since 1969. I hope everyone's doing well on this Thursday, July 16th, 2026. I have had a really busy week with not just my talk shows, but my volunteer work and my fundraiser that I did yesterday as well. And again, I want to say thank you to everyone for sponsoring me for the first annual Run for Paws fundraiser in support of the Cambridge District Humane Society. I ran 40 yards for 8.24 seconds. Not bad for a 54-year-old man who's not in good shape. And I raised over $312 for the Cambridge District Humane Society. And I'd like to do that again next year. And hopefully we'll get Chris Belnovich, the manager of media communications, on the podcast as well, because that was part of our little deal there, if I could do it under 14 seconds. And Chris is a good guy. And the Toronto Argonauts, who have been here in Guelph since May for training camp and for practices due to the World Cup, they've been a great organization as well. And I hope everyone is doing well on the Thursday, July 16th, 2026. Still warm here in Southern Ontario, but the air quality from the fires up in Northern Ontario is still pretty bad as well. So if you have to stay in tonight, please do so as well. And I'm looking forward to my guest tonight. This is her second appearance on our show. Our first appearance was in December, I believe December 4th, and we're going to bring her on right now. She's with King Realtor Company out of Toronto. She's a sales representative agent, and her name is Tiffane Sankey, and we're going to bring her on right now. We're going to talk a little bit about real estate and her role as well. So 1 second. Good evening. How are you?
Hi, Chris. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm okay. And just keeping busy these days with content and my volunteer work, my fundraising, and of course my media work as well.
Absolutely. That's good. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, yeah, and it's been 7 months. Hard to believe you were on December 4th, just before Christmas in
That's right.
2025. Yeah, 7 months. So how are you been doing in those 7 months?
A lot has changed, Chris. The market has definitely picked up. I've been busy. I have tons of things going on. So it's been a very good 7 months.
You mentioned the market has picked up. I wasn't sure. I wanted to ask you about that later, but you found the real estate market has picked up in the GTA area specifically?
Absolutely. The GTA market has definitely picked up. We're seeing more affordable homes available now. So it's definitely a buyer's market. And because of the government providing the HST rebate, as well as their Bank of Canada holding the interest rate, we're seeing lots of more opportunities becoming available. And these buyers are grabbing at them.
What are your thoughts on the economy right now? Do you find the economy is shrinking, or do you find it's getting better?
I think it's always getting better. Some would argue that it's shrinking and that the cost of living has gone up, which it definitely has. We know gas prices has gone up. We're seeing taxes going up, of course, but we're also seeing things leveraging out. We're seeing that even though the cost of living has gone up, the pricing of homes has gone down. Definitely. We're seeing more available properties. We're seeing developments coming up with more available homes. There's a new one coming up in Mississauga. You can get a one bed for $399K. That's really good. And then with the HST rebate also, we're seeing more opportunities coming open. Yeah, it's definitely I would not say the economy is shrinking right now. Definitely not.
Want to ask you, can you tell our audience a little bit about what the government's doing to encourage first-time home buyers again?
Absolutely. So, when you are purchasing a home as a first time buyer, you qualify or you can qualify for a number of incentives. The principal one that the government is offering is for the move in ready properties. So, the developers are creating these condos and townhomes and whatnot. And when you buy a ready move in property, meaning that it's built and it's there for you to go and look at, you can get up to $130,000 back through your HST rebate, which means the tax that's been worked into the cost of the home you can get it back directly from the builder or the government, depending on what the program is set up with that program.
What are your overall thoughts right now on buying instead of renting?
I think that everybody should do what they can afford. And I think that obviously, when you are purchasing a property, you're acquiring an asset and you're making your money work for you. However, you have to be in a position to do that. So if you are going to be renting, it should be something that is a stepping stone, is my opinion. If you can afford to own a home, then you should own a home. But if you're a person who moves around a lot or you're not sure about work, because you do need stability if you're going to own a property, it's very expensive, right? Yeah, if owning a property is not what it looks like is in the books for you and renting right now is okay, that's fine. And we know that there's a plan that we have to put in place for you.
Renting short term, I agree with you, is fine, but long term, you don't have anything to show for it. So if you're like you said, if you're going to move around job to job or city to city, then renting is a better option. But if you want to be in one city, one location long term, then owning would be your better option.
Absolutely. Especially if you have kids and a family, you want to have that stability. You don't want to be at the whim of a landlord who can decide if they want to kick you out next year, if they want to take over the property, and then you're stuck having to find somewhere else to live. And you want to have a house for your children. So definitely, if you can own, you should.
Well, Tiffin, it's been 7 months since you've been on our show. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what's been going on with you the last 7 months with King Realtor?
Absolutely. So with King Realty Co., we're agent of social media forward agents. And right now I have a ton of open houses coming up this summer. This Sunday, I'll be doing one as well as next Sunday in Milton at the Mylan Creek development. I sold one of their condos in the spring. It's a beautiful property just off the 403 in Milton, just close to the Toronto Premium Outlets. And they have a lot of properties, condos available, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom. It's through Mattamy Homes. And then I have a couple more open houses happening too. We have one happening in Scarborough. We have one happening in High Park. There's a lot of condo developments that have been built over the past couple of years that are finally complete. And because they're complete now, we're getting the discounted rates. And so that's kind of my priority right now. It's just been helping people to get their first property. I'm getting a lot of first time buyers. I'm getting people who are just coming here from other countries who kind of need somewhere to live. So I'm helping them rent, and then we're making a plan for how they can buy soon.
What are your thoughts on Milton? I know I lived in Oakville in the late 70s and early 80s, and
Mm-hmm.
Even Oakville back then was about maybe 75, 80,000 people, and Milton was
Mm-hmm.
maybe 30,000. How big has Oakville and Milton markets exploded even in the last 5, 10 years?
It's definitely exploded. That's the perfect word, Chris. A lot of people are getting tired of that city life. A lot of people are wanting to more so relax and laid back. You'd be surprised. My younger clients, the ones who are in their 20s, the ones who are buying, they don't want to buy in Toronto or even Brampton or Vaughan. A lot of them are looking more west for that more quiet suburban lifestyle. And because we have the 400 series highways, you can get downtown or across the city in a matter of half an hour to an hour, depending on where you're trying to go. And yeah, I've definitely seen a big push in the demand for Milton and all of Halton region, actually.
Tiffin, I know you do the GTA area, but do you ever come out to Guelph, Kitchener, Waterloo, Cambridge area as well?
I haven't been out to Cambridge particularly. No, I do go to Orangeville sometimes. I do have a couple of clients that have interest in Orangeville and Halton. Yeah, kind of like Georgetown a little bit. But no, I haven't gone as far as Kitchener. No, it's 2 hours, an hour, 2 hours.
Actually, with the way traffic is now and all these accidents on the highway, it could be 3 hours.
Exactly. So, no, I haven't found myself out there yet. Maybe soon.
Do you find people are now wanting to move closer to the work, which would shrink the need to commute? What are your thoughts on that?
I think people are looking to move where it's affordable for them because of the access we have to transit, especially GO Transit, and the expansion of the subway systems that they've done across the GTA. I'm seeing people are willing to live further away from their job. However, it's always the priority, of course, to live close to where you work because it cuts down your commute time and your overhead, right, for your monthly spend. But if it's an option, if it's not an option, then yeah, I see them being okay with living a bit far away if it saves them some money.
Tiffane, what are some of the latest trends right now in the real estate industry that you'd like to share with our audience?
I'm seeing a lot of people choosing to rent instead of to buy simply because they don't know what's going on, right? They don't know that they need to get this pre-approval. They don't know what the process is. And unfortunately, that's a common trend that I find. A lot of people who approach me to rent, when I do the math and I calculate how much they make and I look at their savings, they're great candidates to purchase. They just aren't informed. And so I would love to stop that trend of misinformation or lack thereof. If you know a realtor, ask them. If you don't know a realtor, go on Instagram, find a realtor. They'd be happy to tell you how you can own a home. It's available for everybody. Homeownership is a right. So let's get to it.
Even in 2026, what are some misconceptions of real estate realtors and agents?
I get a lot of the time people think that we're just pushy people who just want you to spend off all your money. And I at least know for myself and the agents that I know that's not the case. None of us want to get sued. None of us want to have a lawsuit. So we definitely are not going to be pushy to make you spend all your money. Absolutely. When it comes to making that first step to buy a home, it's a very scary situation. So some people may be very nervous or apprehensive at first. And maybe that's where the pushiness comes from. They say that we're pushy because we're, telling you can do it and you should do it for yourself. But at the end of the day, we're in this business as professionals for a reason and we have the expertise and the knowledge and we're just trying to share that with everybody.
Do you find currently self-selling your own home is shrinking these days, or do you find it's growing now?
Self-selling, definitely shrinking. I don't know people who self-sell. Everybody I know that sold their home recently, they've used a realtor. And it's just because A, it's a lot of work to put your house up for market. And B, a third eye or a second pair of eyes is definitely needed because things that may seem normal to you may not be normal to somebody else coming to your home for the first time. And buyers decide on if they're going to purchase the property or not in the first 60 seconds of arriving, right? Just by the front lawn. And so it's always better to have a second opinion, and you want to hire somebody who is paid, has gone to school for, and is insured to help you sell your house.
Can you tell our audience a little bit about the licensing aspect of being a real estate agent,
Yeah,
realtor?
of course. Our license is something that we hold very near and dear to our hearts. We have to complete a number of courses in school to get our license, and then we have to get insurance, and then we have a code of ethics that we have to follow. So I take a lot of pride in my license. I do not mess around with my license. I make sure that I follow the rules and that I'm doing my due diligence because I don't want to lose my license and I don't want to go to RICO jail.
For those people that are watching our show live streaming or on audio, and there's somebody out there that's interested in the world of real estate, in the real estate industry, what advice would you give to them from your experience so far?
I would tell them to speak to a number of agents before you decide anything and not to simply look at what you see online, right? You online, we're only seeing things that people want us to see because they make the choice to put it up there. And there's a lot more that happens behind the scenes than just touring a pretty house and then getting a paycheck. There's a lot that goes into it. Realtors, we would joke that we play every role. We're the therapist, we're the doctor, we're the contractor, we're the inspector, we're the mathematician, the accountant. And it is a joke, but it does have an element of truth to it. So if you're not ready to uphold that responsibility and maintain your decorum, then But if you are ready and you think it's something you're interested in, reach out to me. I'd be happy to talk to you. My brokerage is always accepting new agents.
How important is a home inspection? Like you're a first time home buyer, and how important is getting that inspection done?
The home inspection is one of the most important parts of the home buying process because you need to make sure that the house is safe to live in. And you're not going to know that unless it's been inspected. A lot of the time, homeowners will have their property inspected before they put it up for sale, just so that way it's like an incentive for the buyer. You don't have to go out of your way and get an inspector. I've gotten it for you. My house is clean. But sometimes people don't. And you just want to, it's pretty cool actually when you're witnessing an inspection because you get to see what the elements are to a safe or a clear inspection, you know, the appliances, the lighting, the electricals, the water, the AC, even the flooring being just a little bit off can definitely impact your quality of life on that property. So I say that's of the utmost importance. Always do the home inspection, whether it's a condo, a townhouse, semi-detached, fully detached, even a parking spot. Make sure you get it inspected.
Now, for someone out there who's selling their home, a house or a townhouse, and they're going to renovate it, what would you say would be the biggest? What would you prioritize in renovating before you put the house on the market?
Every home is different. Some
Okay.
homes need a lot of renovation, some homes don't. We always like to do a fresh paint job because that's going to give your house a facelift. Depending on the time of year, you do outside. Now, I'm not saying to go and pay 20 grand for a landscaping job, even though that would be nice to have a beautiful front porch and patio, but definitely just take your time. Have your realtor walk around with you. Go look at some of the other homes that are listed for sale and look at your home. If you have a nice kitchen and you have a nice living room, but you have some old dingy carpets, get rid of the carpets, put in some laminate, put in some hardwood. If your bathroom's looking a bit outdated, you can upgrade your bathroom and it's no problem. You know, do what you can afford, but definitely take pride in it.
Right now, what's the trend? Is carpet still in, or is carpet completely out and it's wood flooring now?
Everybody likes wood flooring. I'm finding nobody wants carpet. Nobody's interested in carpet anymore.
I guess because it's a lot of work to keep clean and maintain.
Yeah, absolutely. And then there's also the health risk, right? A lot of people are more concerned about their health these days and any airborne illnesses that can be caught in your carpet and dander and pets and smoking and whatnot. So I personally recommend if you're going to sell your home and you have carpet in it, get it out of there.
What are your thoughts on tiny homes these days? People downsizing or shrinking into smaller homes.
Tiny homes are cute. I like a tiny home. It's kind of like in cottages too. Um, I find that people who buy these homes usually you're either two types of people. Either you're someone that had a really big property and you're sick and tired of all the maintenance and cleaning that goes into it. So you get a little tiny home on a cute lot. Or B, you're somebody who likes to travel. You know, so you don't really need a big house or a condo, more so a closet and somewhere to rest when you're back home. But I really like a tiny house. Some of them are really cool and cute when you go online and you see them. So yeah, I'm into it.
Do you see more and more people downsizing these days?
Different generations do different things. I do see the older generations are downsizing. And again, it's because of that maintenance. You know, it's really nice when you have a big family and all your kids can come over and the grandkids and whatnot, and the house is alive. But if you're an empty nester and it's just you and there's no reason for you to have 4 and 5 bedrooms, get rid of them. Get a condo, get a townhouse, get a bungalow somewhere quiet. So that way it's easier for you to manage and you can enjoy your home more.
Tiffane, what are some tips for first-time home buyers?
Definitely always get that pre-approval. We don't want to buy blind, and we don't want to make mistakes, and we don't want to waste time looking at properties that we can't afford. And the only way for us to know what we can truly afford is by getting a pre-approval done. Do your research on your realtor, do your research on the brokerage that your realtor is with, do your research on what kind of home you like, and try your best to specify what your wants are versus what your needs are. Because a lot of the time we get caught in between, not remembering that just because we want something in our home doesn't necessarily mean that we need it. And that can be the difference of thousands of dollars. So, yeah.
When somebody is looking for a new home or a condo or an apartment, what's
Mhm.
the number one thing that they're specifically looking at the beginning?
It depends. So if it's a house that you can walk up into, that front porch, front door situation, immediately selling point. Some people like a garden. I know I do. So if I'm looking at a house and I walk up and it has poor landscaping or an unkempt lawn and whatnot, immediately I'm not going to want to get it because I know I'm going to have to put a lot of work into it. When it comes to any other property, just keep it clean. People like a clean house. People like an empty house. People like a place where they can picture themselves. And if your home is all of the above, then it'll get sold.
How important is the neighborhood itself and the neighbors?
Neighborhood is important. That's why we encourage our buyers during the process to tour the neighborhood, even when we're not looking at the home. So, say I came up to Cambridge with a client I liked, or Kitchener Waterloo, and they wanted a nice house in a friendly neighborhood, and we found something and they liked it. I would suggest, hey, today's Tuesday. We've seen the home. You like it. Maybe on Saturday afternoon, let's come back and spin the block a little bit just to see what it looks like when everybody's home. Because when people are at work, and the school is going on, it's a completely different neighborhood than when people are at home. And that's when you get to see who you're purchasing a property next to.
What are some of the majority of reasons why people move from your perspective?
So I see people moving because they just want something fresh. They want something new. I see people moving because they've had more children or they expect to have more children. And I see people moving for work. A lot of people are moving for work. They want to work in a higher position and it's downtown, but they don't want to live downtown. So they're going to move to Midtown or North York, or they're going to move to Vaughan by the subway, or they're going to move out west or east on the GO train line. I'm seeing a lot of connection for that reason.
Have you had a few people move because of bad neighbors?
Oh, wow. Bad neighbors. um, you know what? I haven't had too many bad neighbor situations. I've definitely, like with the rentals, seen landlords, people having, uncomfortable moments with their landlords, so they want to move for that reason. Um, but no, not so much neighbors. No, no, people are on their best behavior, I guess.
What are your thoughts on AI in the real estate industry? And do you find AI, which AI is affecting everybody nowadays, do you find it might shrink the real estate industry in the future
Hmm.
too?
I remember we had talked about this a bit the last time that we spoke, where I said that AI, even though it's inevitable, I don't believe you should buy your house from a robot. I don't think a robot's going to take into consideration the way that you and your family operate. A robot is not going to be taking mental notes of little things that you say and do and that your kids say and do or your pets and whatnot. And I don't think a robot's going to consider the way your lifestyle can be affected by where you live. And just like I said last time, I wouldn't want a robot to perform life saving surgery or even give me a haircut, much less. So I definitely would not be purchasing a home from AI. But I do see how it helps with marketing. And I do see how it can help with accounting. And I do see how it can offload a lot of the mental toll that we take in this industry as professionals, just like in others. So I'm not completely against AI. I just don't think that we should rule out the human connection.
How much of an impact has social media and the internet and that had on the industry in the industry as well? Because now as a real estate agent or a realtor, part of your career is getting exposure out there through social media. So I just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Absolutely. Social media has had the biggest impact on our careers. Definitely before, when I was not posting as much, I can see a difference between then and now. One video can go viral on TikTok, and your DMs are flooded with people who are looking to use your services. And I think it's really cool that you can have that type of outreach without having to spend 1 cent. I can record a video right here on my front porch, post it, 300,000 people have seen it, and I didn't spend a dime. Versus back in the days, you had to run print ads, you had to put your face on a bus, you had to run ads on the TV and on the radio just for people to maybe catch the phone number and then maybe call you. Now we're definitely more connected, and I think it also works better for the consumer because you can go on Instagram and TikTok and you have 50 agents in your phone that you can reach out to without having to go and look for them and find scourge the internet for them, and you have more options. I think it works better for everybody.
How competitive is the real estate industry right now in 2026?
Oh gosh, it is dog eat dog, Chris. is dog eat dog. We are seeing fights. We are seeing arguments and disputes. The landlord tenant board and the real estate board are backed up with situations happening because everybody wants to get the best deal for their clients. Sometimes we see professionals not upholding their license properly or doing their due diligence, of course, in the sake of trying to get the deal done. But again, that's why it's your job as the consumer to make sure that you're doing your research and that you're picking somebody who's going to maintain your best interest and treat you with integrity and, be who they're supposed to be at the end of the day.
Have you thought about doing your own podcast show in the future or a book?
I'm definitely working on a book, Chris. A book is
Congratulations.
absolutely in the works. Thank you so much. A podcast, yeah, for years I've thought about doing podcasting, whether it's live or on YouTube or just on Apple Podcasts, but it's another job in itself, right? You know that it's very busy. So everything in time, one step at a time. Right now I'm trying to do real estate.
How much would you say you've involved and improved as a real estate agent in even in the last year or two?
Oh, I've seen a big change, Chris. I see a big change in myself, in the way I present myself, in the way I speak, in the way I deal with my clients. I've also learned how to balance it better, how to balance being a person, a realtor, a mom, a partner. And that's just
Work
thanks to my
life.
community. Yeah, work-life balance.
Yeah.
And it's all thanks to my community. The brokerage I'm at right now, everybody is like-minded. We're all coming from different walks of life and we're all just trying to make it at the end of the day. So there's no animosity, no weirdness. And I think that it's very good that the company that you work for, the organization you're with, that everybody has the same mentality and that everybody realizes we're all just, a little fish in a big pond. At the end of the day, everybody's trying to make it somewhere. So just treat others with respect and kindness. And if someone's reaching out because they need help or assistance, just help them out. It's free.
Absolutely. What's 3 words to describe yourself? 3 words.
3 words.
Yes.
I would definitely say I'm kind, I'm funny, and I'm honest. Very honest.
And one thing you mentioned there too is kind. Pay it forward. Pay it
Pay it
forward to
forward.
others, and yeah, good karma.
Exactly,
One
exactly.
thing
Treat others how you want to be
Mhm.
treated.
One thing I've learned too, and I admit this is something I got to work on, being an entrepreneur, being a small media business owner, work-life balance. Sometimes I take too much work on and I get tired, and I need to learn to balance work a little bit more. I'll be honest with you,
Yeah.
with sleep and taking care of yourself.
Oh yeah, sleep is something I struggle with too, Chris. Don't worry, you're not alone. Definitely, we're up late having those sleepless nights because you know what? When the world turns off around you, sometimes that's when you get the best ideas. When everybody else is sleeping and it's just you. So, but you have to sleep because if you don't sleep, you're not going to be able to function at your fullest potential. And that's what you need, especially when you're an entrepreneur. You have to be able to function at 100, even if you don't feel like it. So, sleep and the work life balance, we both got to work on it.
How would you describe yourself as an entrepreneur? And do you see more and more people getting into the real estate industry these days?
Absolutely. I always get messages from people asking how I got into it and how they can get into it and what it's like. But again, just do your research before you go and purchase the course. So that way you know what you're getting into. As for how I describe myself, as I said, I'm an honest person. I'm very personable. I like to make people feel comfortable. So if you're approaching me because you want me to help you with your next move, whether it's a buy or a sell or a rental, or even if you have a business and you're trying to find a home for your business, I'm going to let you know straight up what your options are and how I can help you. And if it doesn't work out, best of luck, maybe next time. And if it does work out, rock on, I'm in it.
Now, being in sales, and I'm in sales in a different form in media, do you ever find you sometimes get ghosted by some of your clients? Like where everybody talks about ghosting and dating, but nowadays I find out when you reach out to a lot of businesses and that, a lot of people don't reply back. There's no response.
No, you're right. I definitely deal with that. That's a regular thing. It never stops. People will message me, "Hey, can you help me? This is where I want to live." I say, "Okay, send me your email." They never get back to me. Or people will go so far as to wanting me to help them to look at places, but then when I start telling them about the pre-approval and the contracts, they stop responding to me. And at first I used to take it personally, like, Why wouldn't they stop talking to me? They reached out to me. That's so rude. But then I realized, you know what? It's not personal, it's business. And at the end of the day, even though I'm an entrepreneur and I'm a businesswoman, I'm a business at the end of the day. And for them, it's just like if you go into a store and you don't see any clothes you like, you just leave. Maybe you tried on a couple things and you spoke to the associate and maybe they're waiting for their commission. So they're really excited. But again, if I don't like it, I'm not going to buy it. So how can I wrong anybody else for upholding that standard, you know?
I'm kind of old school. I'm a yes and no person, and
Yeah.
I just find communication skills kind of have shrunk with all this technologies nowadays. One thing I learned too, I learned as well, is I'll send out an email to a potential guest. I'll give them a week, 7 days to respond. People are busy, they're on vacation, whatever. Then I'll do
Yeah.
one follow up, and after the one follow up, if I don't hear back from them, I move on and focus on to other guests and other clients.
I think that's a really good system you have going there. I kind of do the same for leads that I get, you know, especially when they're from social media because people and rope bots are all over messaging you for no reason. So yeah, if someone reaches out to me, I'll respond to them. I'll give them a week every day for a week. I'll message them, hey, just checking in, you know, for about a week to 10 days. But then if they don't get back to me, then yeah, I move on. And if they do get back to me, no hard feelings. You took some time. I'm here to help.
Do you feel empathy and communication skills have shrunk?
Absolutely. A lot of people have not developed their interpersonal skills. And because social media and phones give you such easy access to the private, intimate lives of others, a lot of people have become entitled. And a lot of people feel that they have a right to speak to you just simply because they follow you or you popped up on their page. Sometimes people forget that even though I'm a realtor, I'm a person. So you cannot message me and be rude. You know what I mean? And I have a right to say, I'm not going to work with you or take you on as my client simply because I don't enjoy this line of communication. So definitely people need to go outside and speak to each other more. Definitely.
What is the hardest aspect of the real estate industry, in your opinion, from your perspective?
You know, and this is something that I've learned over the years. I'm a very patient person. And I learned that in real estate, to be a successful realtor, you need to be patient. And you need to be able to understand that everybody's coming from where they are coming from. And not everybody has the same experiences as you. So even though you may be thinking, okay, I'm going to buy a house and I'm going to go meet my realtor and whatnot, and that's how you did it, not every client is going to have that same zest. Not every client's going to be as enthusiastic and forward. And sometimes people are a bit timid and you will experience pushback. But if you want to get that deal done and you want to have the happy client and you want to have success, you need to be able to step back, be patient, and let people, you know, fit in where they're comfortable.
What are some of the do nots, in your opinion?
Do not
Yeah,
lie, do not mislead, do not make promises that you cannot prove, that are not written on paper. Do not sign anything without reading it. Always read the fine print. As a realtor, it's very important that I go through my paperwork with all my clients. In the initial consult for buyers, we have a session at the end where I open up the actual contract for the representation, for example, and I go through it with them as I fill it out before they sign it, just because I don't want there to be any sort of discrepancy. And I know firsthand how irritating it is when you sign something thinking it's one way, it ends up being another way. And considering that a house can very well be the most expensive thing you ever buy in your life, you want to make sure that you're well informed and you know exactly what's happening, when it's going to happen, how much you have to pay, who's it going to, when is it going to them. You want to be educated on everything. So do not sign anything without reading it with your realtor first.
well, I know for myself, 3 years ago, I bought a brand new vehicle, the most expensive vehicle I ever bought. And
Mm-hmm.
the day before I bought it, I felt like I was going to be sick. But the sales guy, Nathan, he did a really good job. We made sure that I could afford the vehicle. I got what I needed on the vehicle. He basically did his research homework, and he was very patient with me, and he showed empathy as well, and we ended up making a deal. And 3 years later, I'm quite happy with the vehicle.
Good job,
And he,
Nathan.
Yeah, and he's been doing it for 10 years. And he tells me too, even as a car salesman or sales consultant, they call them now, they have to
Hmm.
have empathy, they have to have patience, and they also get ghosted as well sometimes, where people just stop talking to them and move on instead of giving them a straight answer too. So being a salesperson nowadays, whether it's media or real estate or in vehicles, I think it's more challenging nowadays too.
Definitely, because remember, people have access to a million of views, right? I'm one realtor. They may have found me on TikTok or Instagram, or maybe they found one of my cards. I leave my cards everywhere, right? Um, while they're speaking to you, they can get a second opinion from somewhere else. They can Google something and decide that they don't like the way that you presented the information, and they can move on. And you know what? It's a part of it. I've ghosted car salespeople a lot of times. I call dealerships, hey, how much is the car? This is what I have. What's my trade in? And they call me the next day, are you going to come look? And I just don't answer because sometimes people don't want to let others down. You know what I mean? They don't want to tell them, no, I'm not going to come buy the Toyota. I'm so sorry. I'm going to go to Mazda. You know, they don't want to say that. So they just don't answer the phone.
I guess I'm old school in that sense. I kind of like to give people a yes or no answer, but I know times have changed. But I think the biggest thing with sales, whatever you're in, real estate, cars, media, whatever sales that you're doing,
Hmm.
is trust. If you don't trust that individual, then you should probably move on to somebody else, because I think trust is a huge thing.
Absolutely. And that's why I make sure to always be very honest and upfront with my clients on what their situations are. So that way they don't have higher expectations. And when they don't have these super high expectations about what they can afford and what they can get, it's a bit this the entire thing goes easier, and they will trust you, and they'll be so satisfied in the end. Well, that's how it works for
Tiffane,
me.
Tiffin, I wanted to ask you this too. Do you see a shrinkage of younger generations purchasing a home with a high increase of cost of living in Canada, or do you see it growing instead of shrinking?
I feel like it's in the middle, Chris. It's not, I don't see that it's shrinking. I perhaps people are getting more education. A lot of people in the younger generations moved out before they should have. Honestly, maybe they decided to just rent after university instead of moving back home, or maybe they just decided for work they want to live somewhere else or travel more. So, a lot of people may have made, and these are mistakes that we make in life, you know, in your younger 20s. Um, I see a lot of younger generations getting more educated. They're following the realtors on TikTok and on YouTube, so they're learning more and they're saving up their money more, and they're calling and asking me about the incentives and the HST and whatnot. So I think it's still balanced.
Do you feel the market right now is stabilized, or do you think it's dropped a little bit?
The mortgage rate,
The mortgage rate and also the real estate industry currently.
everything's good. Everything's good. I see some balance. I see stability, especially because of what's available in the inventory with all of these move in ready suites and units available from the pre construction developers. I can see actually we're going to have a pretty good fall market.
Do you see more affordable housing happening? Because I think there's a big demand for it in Ontario with the high cost of everything.
Absolutely. So I'm going to tell you what's going on right now, Chris. So those developers back in 2020 during COVID that had just started promoting or not 6 years ago or even 4 years ago, those developments are finished now. We have Myland Creek out in Milton. We have West Bend and High Park in Toronto. We have a new one coming up very soon that I'm excited I can't talk about. We have the Garden Series in Scarborough. We have a couple Pickering Parkway condos. Those ones that are finished, that have sold all of their units and whatnot, or even 90% of the units, the 10% that they have left, they've discounted. They want to get rid of them. They want to sell them. They're taking off 15, 20, 30, $40,000 off the price of these units. So you're saving a lot of money. And then also, because the government has said, you know what? First time buyers, you want to buy one of these move in ready suites, go ahead and buy it. We're going to give you back all of your HST. It's almost like they're giving away houses, almost. You know what I mean? So I can see affordable homes are definitely what's going on right now, and the fall market's going to be very, very hot.
Because sometimes you hear a doom and gloom, and everybody talking about nobody can afford homes now. Everything's doom and gloom. So I guess
Mhm.
it's not. You're better off going to a real estate realtor than just listening to the news about the doom and gloom. Then
Absolutely, because you know what? We should only speak on the industries that we are the experts in. The realtors are the experts in real estate. The news outlets are the experts in the news. You know what I mean? So if they're saying there's doom and gloom, we have to find out why. What's the source? Why is there doom and gloom? A lot of people are not buying blind anymore. We used to have a lot of people just go and purchase a house and then they can't afford it. They got to sell it or they foreclose and whatnot. People are being smarter now. The internet and AI is helping us to make sure that we're making informed decisions always. And even though there are still expensive homes, there are still affordable homes, and a good realtor is going to make sure that they find out what you can afford and then they're going to help you to get situated.
Now, when you're buying a home, you also got to look at utilities, hydro, water, your gas bill, the electric, and also too groceries as well. You got to take it on a number of factors.
Everything, everything. And that's why it's so important to interview realtors before you sign on the dotted line. Because some realtors do not take the time to sit down and do a budget with you. Some realtors do not take the time to consider your commute, your groceries, your car, your utilities, your property tax. They just want you to sign off. I have a spreadsheet. Every buyer I get, we plug in your information, we plug in how much you make, we plug in if you buy this property with this much down, this is what your pre approved mortgage rate is over this many years. We know this is what your monthly overhead is going to be. If your utilities are included in your maintenance, we allocate for that. If not, sure, your parking, what's it going to be? Some of my clients will give me a number. They say, I don't want to pay more than $2,500 a month. I know, okay, we're not buying a house for more than this much a month. If you want a nicer house, we got to raise the budget. It's just that simple.
One, especially in Toronto too, the condo fees and then the parking fees as well. Do you also find people's salaries are shrinking too, getting smaller?
I don't want to say that the salaries are getting smaller, but because the cost of living has gone up, it might feel that way. But you know what? Gone are the days of staying at one company for 40 years. If you are looking to buy a home and you're only making X amount per year, update your resume and get a better paying job. There are tons of jobs everywhere. There's lots of companies that hire people from other countries and bring them here to work a role that you might be qualified for. And you know what? When you look online and these listings are going to say you need XYZ qualification, just apply. You never know. And then once you apply and you put that effort into bettering yourself, you be amazed at what you can do. And then you can get your home.
What do you enjoy the most about being a real estate realtor and helping clients find the right home? How satisfying is it?
It's very satisfying. My favorite part of the transaction is there's two parts. The first part is going to be when I get to tell them that they've been accepted, whether it's for a rental or for a sale. I love that conversation when I tell them that their offer has been accepted because it's like a sense of accomplishment, especially if we've been placing a lot of offers and the market's been really tough and nobody's been accepting them. It's a lot of fun and I love that part. And then my second favorite part is closing day when I get to see my clients, give them their keys, and they get to move in. Of course, I have a gift for them. It's 2026. We have to take a picture for Instagram. We have to have the balloons and whatnot. So that's the second part. But my first favorite part has to be when I get to tell them that they've been accepted because it's a very emotional process. So it's fun.
Do you find rentals are diminishing these days?
Definitely not. Definitely not. Everybody is wanting to be a landlord. A lot of people are looking into that investment property. A lot of people are considering how they can make their money work for them. So I have a lot of first time buyers who say, you know what, I want to buy a house, but I want to have a finished basement or an in law suite so that way I can rent it out and make a bit of money. I have someone who reached out to me the other day and they said, Tiffany, I want to buy a duplex. And I said, that's a great idea because you can live on the property, be the landlord, and then you have a tenant that lives right next door to you. It's not like above and below. It can be right next to each other or one behind the other. And you're on site, ready to go property management for your landlord, for your tenant client. And you didn't have to spend X amount of money extra to buy a whole extra house. So, yeah, I've seen a big shift.
When you do buy a house and there's renters in it, what's the process of getting the legal process of getting the renters out if you don't want them in that home? I guess they call it squatters nowadays.
Yeah, so it all depends on the situation, right? Sometimes when people are selling their home, they let their tenants know. If you're in within a lease, you have to give your tenant 60 to 90 days notice. You have to, so that way they can get themselves together. Um, especially if you're going to break the lease, you may have to compensate. So if they are in a 12-month and it's month 8 and you want to sell in month 10, you might have to either A, help them find a new place, or B, give them back their security deposit, which was the last month's rent. You give it back to them so that they can find somewhere to live. Sometimes people sell their homes for unforeseen reasons and they have to sell at the beginning of a lease. So maybe you're buying a home, you know it's an investment property, you know people are living in it until next year. That's fine. If I'm a landlord investor client and I'm looking to buy somewhere that I want to rent out and this property is already being rented out, it's kind of like a win situation where I get the home and I already have the tenant with the cash flow coming in. So it's good.
Are you seeing more and more people buy homes and then rent them out?
Yeah, it happens a lot, especially with condos and townhouses. A lot of that happens in Brampton. People will buy a home just to rent it out. A lot of it happens near the Toronto Metropolitan University, Ryerson downtown, especially in Mississauga and Scarborough. We see a lot of people buying just to rent out. And you know what? It's good. If you already own a home and you want to buy a second one for your children, but you don't want them to live in it yet, then you rent it out. Sure, great idea. But if you're a first time buyer, I don't recommend buying um, a rental property as your first property because you want to know what it takes to own a home and what actually goes into owning and living in a home before you're helping other people too.
Do you find rental properties are increasing these days?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And as they increase, the tenants increase. So it's just up and up.
Because you always hear now the renters, they don't care, they don't look after the house, they don't look after the property too. So I guess I would say you would want to do a good thorough background check of them before you have them come into your property.
Absolutely. And you know what? That is part of the due diligence of being a realtor. When you're a realtor, you are supposed to do your due diligence, call the references, look through the rental application, call the employer, look at the pay stubs, the credit score, do the math. Can this person afford to live here? Call their landlord, call their friends, whoever they put down, call them to find out, is this legit? Because if it's not legit, it falls back on you because you're the agent who told them to rent to this person and they're not a good person. But I also want to say that with everything, the one bad story or the one bad apple often spoils the bunch. So we will always hear with everything horror stories about tenants, but there are also good people out there who do rent because it's what works for them. And we have to be able to give people a chance at the end of the day.
What's a fun fact about yourself and King Realty Cole? What's a fun
Okay.
fact about you guys?
Fun fact about myself, I love to travel. I don't know if anyone knows that. I don't post a lot of my travel content, but I do love to travel. I go on at least 3 trips a year and I love it. It's how I cope. My brokerage, King Realty Co., we are a social media front brokerage. So if you walk into that office, you might be in a social media video. Just be forewarned. We do also have a social media department, which is really cool. A lot of companies don't have this, where they have a person who is an expert on creating content and driving demand and creating business deals for themselves in the office to help us learn how we can create content calendars, plan our content better, find different types of content to create. And it just kind of, it's like AI, it kind of offloads that pressure for us.
It's a full-time job, and the on-air stuff that I do is the easy part. It's the editing video and the creating content, and I'm creating content constantly. So nowadays, every industry really should have someone that is a content creator specialist, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
it's like marketing. You know, some companies like Google has a whole marketing department. But me as a realtor, I'm the marketing department and the accounting and the in
You
person
wear
and
many
the
hats.
bookkeeping.
You wear
Yeah,
many hats.
exactly. So,
And
yeah.
I had 3 ladies on from Toronto the other day. They
Mm,
have their own careers, but they're now all into online marketing as well. They become entrepreneurs for second jobs as well, and it's important too. You have to
mhm.
market yourself, whether you're in a physical business or you're doing what I'm doing. You have to get your name and your product out there on a regular basis.
Absolutely. It's very important. How are you going to do any deals or get any clients if you're not marketing yourself?
What was the story behind you getting in with King Realty? What was the
Oh.
story?
Yeah, so when I got my license first, like years ago, I did see our broker of record and owner, founder King, Bethany King, on TikTok. And she had made a TikTok about all the money she was making that year. Like she was just flapping the folders on and telling us, this is my commission, this is my commission. And I said, oh my gosh, I want to work with her. I want to work with this woman who's from Brampton. I was in high school in Brampton, who is of Caribbean descent. Her parent is Jamaican. And I said, I want to learn how to do this, because just last year, this woman was not making this much money in this industry. And I could see how it was helping her with her life. You know what I mean? And I was seeing how with her daughter, she was able to do more things. She was able to buy a property. She was able to take control of her existence completely. And so, I joined the brokerage she was at. Unfortunately, I left that brokerage shortly after to join another real estate team at EXP. But then I had my son, so I had to stop for a little bit. And then when I was looking to get back into it, the agent who I was with at EXP, Latrice Williams, she had mentioned to me that she was working with Bethany, and that Bethany was going to be opening her own company, and it was going to be this powerhouse thing of women, and we were all going to be empowering each other and whatnot. And you know what? I said, okay, let me meet with her. And I sat down with her. We had a 30-minute phone call, and she basically explained to me, she said, you know what? I like you. You're a great person. I see the potential. You do still need mentorship, and I offer mentorship for free. And you know what? That's what did it for me, because I had interviewed many top name brokerages, and I had spoken to many other agents, and nobody was offering free mentorship because no one wants to give out their secrets for free. But Bethany said, you know what? If I mentor you or not, we're at different stages in our career. So I don't see a threat in me helping you. And I like that. So yeah, it's been good.
Real estate agent used to be so male dominated. Do you find now there's more diversity, more women, more people of color that are in the industry than before?
Absolutely. A lot of industries have their dominant characters in it, for sure. But as times are changing, especially with social media, women happen to be one of the people on social media who get the most traction on their profiles, and people are learning how they can make money work for them. So definitely, I'm seeing a lot of diversity as more people come into different areas too, right? Canada is a country that accepts a lot of immigration. So obviously, in every field of work, we're gonna have a lot more diversity just for that simple fact. And you know what? I like it because it lets you know that there's somebody out there that has a similar mindset as you, that might be going through the same things as you, and that can better understand you. And that makes it much better. And I find that people can trust me more when they can see similarities between us.
Tiffane, what's next up on your bucket list as a realtor? And what's next up on your bucket list?
I would love to do a transaction overseas, Chris. I'm an island girl. I love going to Jamaica, Antigua, all these places. It is definitely a dream of mine to have a client purchase something on an island. That would be really nice. And then that would help with my goal of owning something on an island too. So that's definitely my next goal. For now, though, I am trying to knock out these open houses that I have going on all summer long. Um, and hopefully those can help contribute to that dream of mine too.
And would you like to mention some of these open houses again as we wrap up the show in a couple minutes?
Absolutely. Thank you. So this coming Sunday, July 19th, and next Sunday, July 26th, I will be out in Milton at the Mylan Creek development by Madame E Homes. They have move-in ready suites available. So if you decide to come by from 2 to 4 this and next Sunday, we can tour the move-in ready available suites as well as the amenities and discuss the incentives and the HST rebate. And then next month and at the end of this month and in September, I do have more open houses out in Scarborough at Warden and Shepherd at the Garden Series. This is a penthouse development that I have available with VIP incentives. Every unit that I have is on the penthouse floor. Every unit that I have has panoramic views. So if you'd like to take a look at something like that right on the Warden and Shepherd subway line, be sure to head out or send me a DM so that way we can get in touch and plan how you can get to tour these available properties.
And what's the best way for people to contact you?
Well, my link tree is on the bottom of the screen here, but if you go on Instagram or TikTok and you type in Sold with Tiff, you can send me a direct DM that way. My DMs are open. And also, if you just search my name, Tiffane Sankey, on Google, you'll get a direct link to my Google business page, and you can hit the link in my bio as well to fill out the contact sheet so I can call you.
If I wasn't in Hamilton Sunday for doing some media work, I would come to Milton just to say hello to you because it would be nice to meet you one day in person as well. And I've actually met
Yeah.
some of my guests that were on my show by accident at events where
Oh,
it's like, wow, small world.
it is a small world. Well, hey, you know what? I'll be in Milton this Sunday and next Sunday. So if you're free next Sunday, stop by.
The
And
26th,
like
yeah.
26th, I'll be in Milton from 2 to 4.
It'd be nice
But
to
then,
just stop by and say hello and that.
yeah, just come by, say hello. We'll have some refreshments there as well. And then who knows what the future holds? We'll be doing some more of these shows, and then maybe I'll have some more property tour. Maybe you can do a property tour of one of my listings.
Absolutely. Like I do, as much as I do this virtual talk show, I also do a lot of freelance media work and I do a lot of in-person interviews. So I could even do a little interview with you in person too.
There we go. That sounds like a
So,
plan.
so July 26th, I should be free, clear that day.
Perfect. I'll see you
So,
there.
and finally, as we wrap up the show, this is a new segment. It's called Ask the Host CDP a Question. Do you have a question for me to put me on the hot seat as we wrap this up?
Ooh, okay. Chris, my question for you is, what would you say your favorite part of doing your talk show is?
I would say the storytelling aspect, the learning aspect in connecting with my guests. And even when there's some days where I'm not 100%, as soon as that camera comes on, my adrenaline kicks on. And just like when I talked to the Toronto Argonauts and celebrities at the Niagara Falls Comic Con, I got to interview a number of celebrities there. As soon as that camera goes on, I just start talking to people. And I basically, my former career, I was in security for 2 decades with Woodbine. I find that career really prepared me for this because when you're in security, you have to talk, listen, think on your feet. And I had to interview people, show empathy. So I think that former career really prepared me for this. And even if I have a day where I'm not 100%, I love connecting with people, storytelling, and learning to answer your question. I know that was a long answer.
No, it's okay. That's perfect.
And I want people to come on this show and feel comfortable, share their story. And with all the doom and gloom news out there right now, and I admit I watch too much of it. I want people to be able to come on to my podcast, my show, and for 15 minutes, a half an hour, whatever, just have a good storytelling show where they learn and they're entertained.
Yeah.
And also, as much as I wanted to get back onto radio, the radio industry in Canada is really shrinking. So I'm
Yeah.
just I'm gonna start focusing on building my own brand and continue to build this show up.
I think that's a great plan because you know what? Radio has unfortunately become a shrinking industry, especially with the rise of podcasts and like audiobooks and whatnot. So I think focus on yourself and whatever plan that you come up with for yourself, it will work out.
I notice when I'm 50, I am getting shorter, but my waistline's getting bigger.
Aren't we all?
So, but hey, I did run a 40-yard dash yesterday in 8.24 seconds. I surprised myself and a lot of people.
There you go. Now imagine if you practice that once a week. You go run 40
Yep.
yards, you cut your time down.
And that's going to be a once-a-year fundraiser that I'm going to do. I also believe in doing volunteer work. I've done it for 31 years, and I believe in giving back to people. No matter how successful you get somewhere in life, you should always give back to others and pay it forward too. I've got people now coming to me about my podcast, my live streaming show, and I try to pay it forward like people did for me too.
That's great, Chris.
Finally, again, how can our audience follow you on social media, your website, and the best way of contacting you directly?
Okay, so once again, if you go on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, you type in Sold with Tiff. That's how you can get onto my profiles. You can reach me via DM. You can hit the link in any of my bios to get onto my contact sheet so that we can connect. And then if you want, you can go on to Google, type in Tiffane Sankey Realtor or King Realty Co., and I will pop up right there and you can fill out my contact sheet or I can directly call you.
Tiffane, are you on TikTok yet by any chance?
Absolutely. Sold with Tiff on TikTok.
I'm going to have to look for you on TikTok because I don't think I have you on there.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
That's
Oh, yes, we do.
time-consuming. Okay.
We do.
See, this is what happens when you turn 54, your memory starts going.
Yeah, we were talking just today.
Yeah, on TikTok. Okay. See what happens when you turn 50 plus?
That's
your
okay.
memory So, but hey, I want to say so much, Tiffany, for coming on our show again. I really appreciate it, and continued success with King Realtor Company. And hopefully, we'll see you possibly in Milton on Sunday, July 26th in Milton. And Milton is not a town anymore; it is a big city.
The city, they have a hospital.
Guelph needs a second hospital too, by the way. Guelph is about 170,000 people. The Guelph market, Guelph is pretty well. I don't know why they're not part of the GTA.
No, you definitely need another hospital. That's a lot of people.
It's funny, back in the 80s when Guelph was half the size, we had 2 hospitals here. That's another topic for another show about healthcare and hospitals. But hey, Tiffany,
Absolutely.
I want to say thank you so much for coming on here. I really appreciate your friendship, your support, and I learned stuff about the real estate market as well. So I really appreciate it.
There you go. Thank you so much for having me, Chris. It's a pleasure.
And hopefully we'll have you back on for a third time in the future.
Yeah, let's see what I'm doing in the next 7 months.
That'll go quick. It'll come quick. Christmas will be here in no time.
Absolutely.
And yeah, thank you so much. Give me a little bit of time tonight, and I'll send you the video, the audio, and some reels and clips as well. Thank you so much, Tiffany, for coming on here today.
You're very welcome, Chris. Thank you so much.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.
All right, everyone, that wraps up season 14, episode 20, overall 735 of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, brought to you by BarryCullen.com. And thank you to Tiffane Sankey with King Realtor Co. out of Toronto for coming on here today. And all her social media sites and information is on my ticker. So thank you to Tiffane Sankey for coming on and talking a little bit about being real estate agent and the real estate market as well. And as we wrap up the show, guys, I'm going to play a little video from my YouTube channel. This is my highlight for 2026. This is my run for pause taken yesterday on Wednesday, July 15th at the University of Guelph Alumni Stadium, and I actually did 40 yards in 8.24 seconds and raised $312 for the Cambridge District Humane Society, and I did it in poor air conditions as well. And we're going to play this clip right now. Filmed by Nick Small, who's the co-host of the Argo Bounce podcast show and a good friend of mine. And he confirmed twice that I ran it in 8.24 seconds. So, hey, if you're 54, you put your mind to it, you can do it. And if I did that every day, I probably would lose 50 pounds. And that's my next battle too. I do want to lose a little bit of weight to feel better. I want to sleep better and feel better. And sleep is important nowadays as well. And exercise too. And I'm glad I was able to do it. And part of the deal is Chris Belnovich, media communications manager of the Toronto Argonauts, who's kind of more of the behind the scenes guy, is going to come on the Argo Bounce podcast show with me and Nick Small at some point in the future. And speaking of the Argo Bounce podcast show, we're going to do one on Sunday, July 19th. 9 p.m. Eastern, and me and Nick will talk about the Argos Cats game, break it down on Saturday, July 18th. Hopefully an Argo win over Hamilton. Both teams are 2-3. It's a 7:30 kickoff this Saturday at Hamilton Stadium. You can listen to the game on the Tiger Cats audio network with Rick Zampert and Simone Lawrence, or on TSN 1050 with Mike Hogan and Ben Grant, or you can watch the game on TSN. So Argos and Cats, both 2-3. And Chad Kelly will be hopefully lead the Argos to a win, and we'll see. But the Argo Bounce podcast show this Sunday, July 19th at 9 p.m. And hopefully we'll break down on Argos win as well. The Small Talk podcast will be back on Tuesday, July 28th at 8 p.m. To be announced the guest, and hopefully Marlene will be able to join us on Tuesday, July 28th. And the next Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show is coming very soon. Check out my social media pages for my upcoming guests and times of our show as well. And as we wrap up this show, guys, if you're looking to adopt a cat, check out the New Hope Animal Rescue Group. They're located at 4990 Jones Baseline Road in Guelph. Telephone number 519-836-9780, or their website, newhopeanimalrescuegroup.ca, or you can email them at newhope Rescue Group, New Hope Rescue Guelph .ca. New Hope Rescue Guelph @gmail.com. So if you're interested in adopting or fostering a cat, please consider the New Hope Animal Rescue Group, again located at 4990 Jones Baseline Road in Guelph, or you can call them at 519-836-9780, and their website is newhopeanimalrescuegroup.ca, and they do really good work there as well. And also, if you're looking to adopt a pet, check out the Cambridge District Humane Society, located at 1650 Dunbar Road in Cambridge, Ontario, right across from the Cambridge Centre Mall. And their phone number is 519-623-7722, extension 0. All appointments to see pets, cats, dogs, bunny rabbits are done through appointments. So your best bet is to go to their website, cambridgehumanesociety.org, check out the pet profile, pictures and information. If there's somebody that you're interested in, please call them at 519-623-7722, extension 0. Ask for Kat or Michelle, and they can give you more information about those pets that you're looking at or a pet you're interested in, and they can set you up with appointments. So cambridgehumanesociety.org for all their information, or you can give them a call again at 519-623-7722, extension 0. And Michelle and her staff do a wonderful job looking after the homeless furry friends and ensuring they get adopted into good homes with good families as well. And I've been a part of the Cambridge District Humane Society for 2.5 years now as a dog walker and a fundraiser. And again, at the Cambridge District Humane Society, you can't buy happiness, but you can adopt it, and always adopt, don't shop. And there's dogs down there. Clarence, one of the dogs down there right now, Clarence, he's such a good boy. He's a medium-sized dog, but he is such a good boy, and I'm really hoping Clarence will be adopted soon. All the pets down there too, they do a really great job, and I love volunteering down there as well. And as we wrap up the show, guys, you can follow me on Blue Sky Social at Live with CDP19 on Blue Sky Social, and I post a lot of content there. And also, if you'd like a personalized video message from yours truly, CDP, go to cameo.com, type Chris Palman. I do happy birthday, happy anniversary, happy divorce, happy Hanukkah, congratulations. If you want to ask me questions about my talk show, some of my favorite interviews, there's no better place than cameo.com, and book a video message from yours truly, CDP. Go to cameo.com/Chris Palme. I look forward to doing your cameo requests today. Also, guys, this show, Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, is live streamed on YouTube, Facebook, X, Twitch, LinkedIn, and now available on Instagram and soon TikTok. You can also check out my website, beacons.ai/Chris D. Palme. Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, again, is brought to you by our friends at Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership, located at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Automall. Check out barrycullen.com for the newest selection of new and pre-owned GM vehicles, along with their great selection of all-electric vehicles and Cadillac vehicles as well. You can call them at 519-824-0210 or email them at info@barrycullen.com. And speaking of Barry Cullen Chevrolet, right now, you can get a $25 Esso and Mobile gift card with the purchase of an oil change and an eligible vehicle house check. Offer valid from June 1st, 2026 to August 31st, 2026. Book your appointment today at Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership. More details at barrycullen.com. And as we wrap up this show, guys, I want to say thank you to my guest, Tiffane Sankey, for coming on here today. And also, as we announce, the next Live with CDP Sports Entertainment Talk Show will be next week. I have more great guests and shows coming up, so stay tuned to my social media. I will be Friday in Paris, Ontario at the nighttime flea market at the Paris Fairgrounds. I might do some content there. And Sunday, I will be in Hamilton Sunday afternoon doing some media coverage of the Canadian Baseball League's Hamilton Cardinals when they take on the London Majors. So check out my social media pages this weekend as well. Speaking of social media, I am also on TikTok at Chris Palme. I'm getting close to 2,000 followers on TikTok. So let's get CDP to 2,000 followers. So go to TikTok at Chris Palme and hit follow, like, and share. StreamYard is the official live stream provider of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show. If you're into webinars, live streaming podcasts, go to StreamYard.com. They have basic free plans, paid professional plans like I do. Or if you're a business that does a lot of webinars, go to StreamYard.com and contact your sales department for pricing at StreamYard.com. Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show. The audio version is on these platforms: iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Spotify for podcasters, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Spotify, Castbox, LinkedIn, Pandora, Tuned In, YouTube Music, and Good Pods. Lately, I've had some trouble with Good Pods. My last 6 episodes haven't gone there, so hopefully we can get that corrected as well. So hopefully this show, my last 6 shows, will be on Good Pods as well. And also this show is available on YouTube in video form and audio form. So just to let you guys know that you can watch this show on replay on my YouTube channel in video form or on audio form as well. And finally, guys, you can email Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show at cpalme19@gmail.com. Any comments, questions, suggestions, feedback, good or bad, would be greatly appreciated. And finally, guys, you can follow me on Facebook, X, Threads, Instagram, LinkedIn, Blue Sky Social, and also my YouTube channel. Go to Chris Palme, Live with CDP Talk Show, subscribe, like, and share. And I'm now 95 subscribers away from 1,000, and I'm getting closer to 1 million views as well. So I want to say thank you to everyone for subscribing, liking, and sharing my channel. And please consider, if you already haven't, please subscribe, like, and share my content. Check out my YouTube Shorts channel as well. And before we wrap up the show, we got some comments here. And this one is from Robbie Schneider, the host of his own podcast show in Buffalo, New York, the 716 Sports Blizzard podcast. Hello, Chris and Tiffany. Go Buffalo. And I have Dave Ginger Brown watching. Thank you, buddy, for watching. Dave, he's watching on Facebook. Where's your Argos hat? I have 5 Argo hats, and I forgot to wear it. So I'll make sure I wear my Argos hat on Sunday night at 9 o'clock for the next edition of the Argo Bounce podcast show with Nick Small and myself. So the Argo hat will be on this Saturday and Sunday as well. Dave, I want to say thank you so much for watching as well. Same with you, Robbie, and to Tiffany Sankey for coming on our show as well. That is about it for tonight, guys. Again, I want to say thank you to Tiffany Sankey, a realtor with King Realtor Cool Company in Toronto, King Realtor Cool. And I want to say thank you to you, the audience, for putting up with me. You know how much I enjoy doing this show. It's the guests that make the show. And I want to say thank you to the audience for watching and listening to the show. I really appreciate your support. It's between for you guys and for my guests that make this show why I do it. And I love doing the Argo Bounce podcast show with Nick Small once a week and the Small Talk podcast once a week as well. I have some more content coming up on my social media pages. So please check out all my social media pages. We got some more good content coming up. I tried a new ice cream from Indulge Ice Cream tonight in Cambridge. So you'll have to check out my video that will be on as well. So that is about it, guys. I will be back on the weekend to announce my next Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show. Again, the Argo Bounce podcast show this Sunday night at 9 p.m. with Nick Small, and the Small Talk podcast Tuesday, July 28th at 8 p.m. Eastern, with a special guest, and fingers crossed Marlene Sharp, my co-host, will make it as well. I hope everybody has a great night, and we will see you back here on the weekend as well. Thanks again to Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership for advertising on this show, and thank you for watching and listening to this show, hosted by yours truly, Chris Palme. Have a good night, everybody, and we'll see you back here on the weekend. Go Argos.